Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. I am Sam. Today, joining me to discuss all the mad and wonderful world of Tottenham Hotspur, it's Stefan.
How are we doing? How are you
I'm
doing?
alright.
Are you happier this week?
Am I happier? Yeah, happier.
You were fairly happy on the last podcast, considering that was the end.
Yeah.
Are you just as happy with the new appointment? How are you?
Well, that's what this show's going to all be about, really. Thomas Frank had to go. I think my overwhelming frustration and anger is at our owners and our board. They did this wonderful rebrand, removed Daniel Levy. We want success, on-field success. You know, we got all the quotes. They're all there for all of it. They rebranded themselves as the Lewis family and all this stuff.
It's no longer Enoch. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was all bullshit. Like, it was all just an absolute horrific lie. And we as a fan base now are in this... It's weird because the fan base had a kind of focal point for their anger, and it was Daniel for a long time. Like, it was clear who the person in charge was. He basically operated with autonomy, even though we all knew he wasn't the owner. We knew he operated everything.
Yeah.
And so the anger and frustration over the direction of the club, it was easy to channel. With his removal, what is interesting is there's so many different like fan groups and stuff who are angry, and they're trying to coordinate, definitely. The Change for Tottenham sort of movement, if you like, is trying to bring all that together. But that losing that focal point, that point of like everyone, we want Levy out, really has knocked it, which is a strange thing if you think about it.
It's like, yeah, it's almost like the whole Hydra thing. You cut one head off and three more appear. We've cut off Daniel Levy, and now we've got the Lewis family, Vinay, we've got Lang. Like, who do we hate? I don't know, all of them.
Yeah, I mean, the Lewis family, the Enoch rebrand Lewis family thing is what concerns me, and I'll love your opinion on this, so I'll lay out why it concerns me and then bring you in.
Okay.
Is the fact that it doesn't take a genius to have looked at the results, the pattern of play, the fan reaction, to know that Thomas Frank wasn't working.
Yeah.
You know, it's like so obvious a blind man could see. And they sat there, and now there are various reports that it was not, like Vinay was all for keeping him. And he is in essence running things at the club. Now Daniel is gone.
And he didn't see a problem.
Yeah, and you're looking at that and you're like, I can understand that feeling of, we think this is the right man for the job, and we understand it's a big job, it's going to take time, we understand we're going to stick by him to weather that storm. And he gave this interview about how he did that at Arsenal with Arteta. They finished 8th for a few seasons. That's not the same as...
We're currently like 15th, 16th going, oh my God, there's a handful of points between us and the bottom three. Yeah.
It is not the same as a relegation fight, which people, please be under no illusion, we are in. So, what my thing is, mate, and this is where I'm, like, if you hear those expressions like, you know, fiddle while Rome burns and like the rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic and stuff like that, my biggest concern from all of this right now is that they don't seem to be aware of the reality of the situation. It's like, I don't feel any sense of urgency. I don't feel any sense of, oh my God, this is not work, because they just let it go and let it go. Like, backed him all through January, only to sack him in the middle of February. My mind is
the actual
blown.
owners got involved and said no, enough's enough. It's weird how someone associated with our arch rivals for so long has come in, seen us in a relegation battle, and thought, no, there's nothing wrong here.
I mean, that doesn't help. I mean,
It really doesn't have a good look, does it?
It doesn't have a good look. I mean, it doesn't have a good look. It certainly will fuel a conspiracy element to, what the hell's going on. But if we try and ignore that and treat it as a professional person who's worked within football for X amount of years, is now at the club, it doesn't make sense to me that no one, because here's the story that kind of encapsulates all of this for me, and then I'll let you go, I promise.
Okay.
Back in November, there was a press story that Paratici said Thomas Frank is not working at this football club. He needs to be replaced. And there was apparently an argument then between him and Lang, and then him and Vinay, back in November over this situation. We then go into December, and Fabio Paratici at that point again says, this is now desperate. The fans are unhappy. The players are unhappy. I'm my remit, I'm trying to do different things, trying to bring people into this football club. We're all looking at it, go, no, it's a dumpster fire. We need to make a change. And in December, he said, the person we need to bring in on an interim basis, to finish this season, is Igor Tudor. Because this is something that he does. He comes into situations, I know him, I can make that deal happen. We need to make this change, because otherwise January is going to be very difficult. Lots of players want to leave. Lots of clubs are sniffing around, and I cannot bring people in because people are just not liking the look of us.
Yeah.
He was told no, told go away. He basically resigned.
He literally went away. Yeah.
Let me run through this. So the club then leaked to everyone and anyone that he wanted to leave because he wanted to go back to Italy. His partner, who he was now dating, it was like a personal decision that he wanted to go back to Italy. He got offered a job at Fiorentina, who are battling relegation, by the way, in Serie A. And that's what it was. A reporter in Italy who's very well regarded across transfers and things like that, and obviously we always used to joke the reason why this guy got all our transfers is probably because him and Paratici were friends. Di Marizzo, I think, then wrote an article calling all that bullshit. The person he's dating, yes, she is an Italian woman, but they met in London because that's where she lives. He then pointed out that Fiorentina were one of many clubs in Italy who'd love to have him, across Europe even, but that's not the reason he left. The reason he left is because he went back to Tottenham to work with Daniel Levy. It was a deal that was done all ahead of time. Then they laid out a structure to him where he could work alongside Lang, and he thought, yeah, okay, I'll focus on bringing people in. Lang's going to focus on the youth, the younger player recruitment and the scouting. I'm literally going to be replacing Daniel as the guy walking into a room with the budget to do the negotiation. Perfect. I love doing that.
Yep.
And it just didn't work. It was like no one would listen to him. In essence, that's what the article said. He said he felt like he was screaming like this is a dumpster fire and no one would listen. So Paratici's left the club after being back for a number of months. In January, we doubled down on backing Thomas Frank, not just in terms of backing him. It's not like everyone thinks of backing a manager. I said this before, as like transfer spend. They sold Brennan Johnson because Thomas Frank didn't want him.
Yep.
Look at our injuries and everything. It now just seems like an insane decision.
Oh, massively.
You then You then also see an assistant coach brought in, because don't forget that Paratici is not the only person at the club seeing the disaster in leaving. Matt Wells, very, very well-regarded coach, a very offensive, attacking football coach, walked after spending just a couple of months working with Thomas Frank.
He's the kind of guy that you would want at the club as Thomas Frank leaves to take over as an interim basis.
Oh, massively. But he went and took a job in the MLS.
Yeah.
And by the way, just a little side note, they played their first sort of pre-season games, and all the journalists are just raving about the attacking football they're playing under Matt Wells. So anyway, just that as a side note. So they brought in a coach from Ajax, Hittinga, who now is also gone with Thomas Frank. So he came in on a contract, no doubt, so we'd have paid him in and now just paid him out. Like, the decisions being made at this club are fucking disastrous. So, mate, I'm going to bring you in now. I've just laid all of that out and why I'm just kind of head-spinning whirlwind. Because, of course, the end result of all of this, after Paratici was jumping up and down in November, is we've now done exactly what that man said we should have done. But we've done it in February, not November. So... what do you think, mate? Because obviously that I can't say to everyone that's 100%. All I can say is that comes from various journalists across various places, a story that you can easily put together, and the journalists who have written these stories that you can link are people who are pretty accurate.
It's, oh man, it makes your head spin, doesn't it? It really does. Like,
yeah.
We have someone in the club who was very well regarded by, like you say, most clubs in Europe.
Yeah.
And he is there giving you the advice, which is kind of what his job is. He's been completely ignored. In November, we were struggling, but it wasn't quite catastrophic yet.
Well, you got to remember how
could see where
congested the
it was
table
going.
was at that point. You know, a couple of wins and suddenly you were right up there again.
Yeah, so you could almost understand in November them saying, hold out, like the table was very congested. He's not been in the job very long. November, you can almost understand it. December, we start seeing that quite dip happen. And they've still doubled down, nothing's wrong. January, you've got a head transfer bloke going, no one wants to join. Like, no one is joining this club for a number of reasons. But right now, nobody wants... I mean, I'm surprised we got Conor Gallagher in. Like, that just proves how much he wanted out of Spain.
I think there's that aspect to it. I think he wanted to be back in London. And I think he'd been sold on the club last season, wanted to join. And I think perhaps he came in on the basis of, okay, you know, it's Tottenham, you know, things can't be that bad. I dread to think what's going through the guy's mind now.
I mean, someone put a video up the other day of, like, the team all coming out for training.
Yeah.
And Conor Gallagher's there, like, his face pretty much entirely covered up looking at the camera. And it was like, that's the eyes of a man with regret. That's a man who's looking at this going, crap.
I imagine in this very moment there's an element of what the hell have I done, but at the same time, you know, hopefully we've made positive changes. But mate, like, do you feel the same way as me? As like, we'll come on to talking about Igor Tudor in a moment, but the way the club have handled everything is just frighteningly bad.
Yeah, like from the top to the bottom, there always used to be, you know, like we say, everyone blamed Daniel Levy, here's the problem. And yes, he made some quite bad decisions.
Big time, yeah.
We can't like, but right now, it now seems that absolutely no one has got a handle of anything. Like, we have fires starting left, right and centre. And everyone at the top is kind of like, just pour a bit more fuel on it. It's fine. Yeah. And I said on the podcast last week, like, I suddenly had that realisation of, oh my God, we might actually be full on relegation issue here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll. Yeah, I mean, I just
the
just
decisions the club are making now that we are in that situation where it's a real thing, and I'm like, the club are still not making clever decisions.
Yeah, can I just read a text my brother sent me, because I think this works brilliantly for this. It says, it's just dawned on me that in the same month, the CEO of our club, Vinay, hired Frank an assistant manager, did a massive PR things talking about it and praising the decision to back him and add him to his staff, and then has sacked both of them a few weeks later.
Yeah. Like, do not get me wrong, I have absolutely zero respect or anything for Vinay because of the whole Arsenal thing. And all the stuff that happened whilst he was the chairman at Arsenal. There was a lot of covering stuff up that should never have been covered up. I am not a fan of his to begin with. And now the decisions he's making.
Yeah.
I'm like,
so I need to add the word allegedly to
allegedly. Okay, allegedly.
Thank you.
And now he's making the decisions that he's making here. And I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, what has this guy done to fall upwards this well in life? Like, you know, they have those people that, like, you know, they could fall over in the street and they'd land with their hand on a winning lottery ticket.
Like, it's like when you work in an office and there's everyone like laying into a team project and you got a kid in the corner basically picking his nose and flicking it and not doing anything, and then somehow he manages to get praised by all the bosses for delivering an amazing presentation or something.
Yeah, he was the only person that knew how to get it onto the memory stick, so therefore he was seen doing that, and what a legend.
I think it was Polynesian Dan who said to me that that's Nasser Chadley. Basically did nothing and would then score and just be like, hey, check me out.
yeah, pretty much. I loved that guy. He was great. He was absolutely awful, but he'd score a worldie every now and again and you'd go, way! But yeah, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't get it. Like, I do not understand. Like, everything from that very first interview he gave with Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
And even then, I'm looking at it and I'm like, you were stabbing him in the back.
Oh, he did, yeah. He was Knight of the Non-Knives. They took Daniel out nasty to the point, and I will, if you don't mind, and just going to interject very quickly, there's a lot of press speculation at the moment about Daniel Levy selling his part of the club.
Yeah.
It would appear that Enoch, probably because Joe Lewis and Daniel's relationship was so good and so close, never put a clause in on his ownership that he has to give them first refusal. And that is causing chaos.
Go on, Daniel.
So in the summer, when Daniel was ousted, 3 different consortiums approached to check the possibility of buying the club.
Yes.
All 3 of them were rejected. 2 of those consortiums have now merged their bid and are in the process of talking to Daniel about buying his part of the club. Now, those 2 who merged would therefore have literally double the financial power that the initial bids each had. But moreover, Daniel owns 25%.
That's a healthy chunk, isn't it?
Well, he values it at over £1 billion.
Ooh.
And he has... Daniel's not said anything on the record at all. However, a certain man on TalkSport who is friends with him has said he's willing to sell, but he's not convinced yet that the people who are interested actually have the money to buy it. Now, that's on them. They have to put together that, but that's part of these massive deals. That's part of it.
Daniel, if you're listening, can I have 1%, please? That's a lot of money. If you can just give me 1%, that'd be great. Yeah.
But it is massively worth keeping an eye on, because the sheer number of rumours coming out of the club behind the scenes being rudderless, no one's in charge, the people who are taking charge are like the grandson of Joe Lewis, who has no idea what he's doing, and therefore other people in the board are like just doing their own thing. Like there are so many rumours of problems at that level. I can well believe that when you look at Joe Lewis's daughter, who's attending games and's got fans screaming in her face.
Yeah.
I can well believe that all of a sudden, if this consortium manages to do a deal with Daniel and they own 25% of the club, and then they come back again and say, look, we want to buy another 26% to control it, you're suddenly in the realms of there's possibly a deal there. It's worth keeping an eye on it. There's nothing laid out. There's no kind of... And also, by the way, and I will say this, there's no magical... Like, we have no idea if a new owner would be better for us. Like, none of us do. No. All we do know is this current ownership are killing us. And it is terrifying how just oblivious they seem to the plight of the fan base and to the team, to the way the team are. It's just terrifyingly neglectful. But yeah, I just want to say that then, because I think it's a story worth keeping an eye on. Keep an eye on the financial press. It is getting coverage pretty much every day. So I'd say that Daniel's made it pretty clear he's willing to sell his stake. He wants to cash out. There was one little story which would make people possibly very, very ill. And that little story was that he was actually joining the consortium.
Daniel's back.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the absolute fanfare of, we've managed to get all of Enoch, like the Lewis family, they're finally gone. Billionaire owners, here we go. And they go, introducing our new chairman, Daniel Levy.
Introducing, or reintroducing, who says we need to tighten our belts because things have been run so badly and ticket prices need to go up, we
have a transfer budget of 200 million. However,
the person in charge of that budget is Daniel Levy.
No,
we're not spending anything ever again. He, don't get me wrong, the guy did a lot of good, but the guy did a lot of dumb shit when it came to the footballing matters.
Yes.
You have to have someone at the club who is a football person. And with Paratici leaving from that level, I'm looking around and I can't see anyone. And the fact that the one footballing person was basically jumping up and down, screaming fire at everybody, and they all ignored him until he quit, is even more worrying. Because, like I said, he was literally in November, December saying, you need to sack him and you need to bring in Igor. And now we're in February. They've sacked him after spending a shitload of money to back him and making decisions to back him, and they brought in Igor. So they've listened, but potentially 2 months too late to have a real impact.
And that's one of the massive things, isn't it? Like, the transfer window's been and gone. Fine.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
But we've only got, 12 games left of the season, I think it is?
Oh,
something
mate,
like
do you
that.
know what? Do you know how happy that makes me?
I know, but I'm like, that is not a long time. I mean, okay, we've got an interim manager in, great, but there is absolutely no chance we're in Europe next season.
Well, so here's the thing, right? So here's the next part of the podcast for us to move on to, which is the relegation aspect. There are, like you said, there's 12 games left. Yep. We need to pick up a minimum, really, of 9 to 12 points from those games.
Now, in a normal situation, if you say
doesn't sound
Tottenham
a lot,
have got 12 games left, they have to win 4 of them.
Yeah.
You go, oh, okay, well, we'll do that in the first 6. Happy days.
You would look at that and think to yourself, we're okay. However, we're not. Now, one of the really interesting things I've seen a lot since we appointed Igor is the people discussing been at a lot of clubs, and they're always looking at the run of results he has before he's left. And I said in our group chat, I don't really care about that. If you look at any run of results of any manager at any club before he left, they're going to look shit, because that's why he left.
There's very, very few managers that ever leave when their stock is high.
Yeah. So all I'm concerned about is the run of results of when the guy arrives. Because if every time he arrives at a club there's an uptick, that's what we need. Like, that is desperate.
Massively. Yeah.
So, being the ridiculous nerd that I am, I went and had a look. And I'm glad I did. Because, the first 8 games at every club he joins is a massive turnaround in fortunes from where they were. Okay. And he almost specialises at arriving in a shit show and turning it around.
I'm pretty sure he's credited with basically saving Udinese from relegation.
Yeah, he
and
did.
Also getting Lazio from mid-table, oh my god, what we're going to do, back into Europe?
Yeah, Lazio. So Lazio were slipping towards a relegation fight themselves, but the table, it was mid-table, but we're like only 4 points off of that. And they finished that season solid in the Europa League place. The Udinese one's interesting. Udinese had lost 8 games in a row. He lost his first game, then won the next 7, drew a couple, won a couple, drew a couple, and I think he only lost 2 more games in the season, and they avoided relegation. The thing that's really important, and I think it's the thing that is what we need. Like, we are desperate for that. And what is mind-blowing to me, perhaps, is if we'd listened to Paratici in December, right? You know, he's screaming in November, but everyone's gone, no, we're going to give him a bit more. It got worse in December. If they'd listened to him then, there are 6 first-team players who are currently missing who were available in December. QT Romero possibly wouldn't have been such a homicidal, I hate the world maniac.
I will break anyone who looks at me because I'm pissed off.
There's an amazing quote, by the way, in the Argentinian. So QT doesn't overly like doing interviews, but he has a journalist that's a friend of his. TYC Sports or something like that in Argentina. If you ever see that with a quote or a story about QT, it has come from him. Literally, the guy's his friend.
I think the way QT doesn't speak very often, but it's like he chooses exactly when he's going to speak.
He's smarter than most people give him credit for, and even when he does stuff that seems stupid, there's often a kind of method to his madness. Roy Keane said something the other day. So anyway, this quote with this journalist is, me and my teammates are frustrated and it's now boiling over onto the pitch.
Yeah. You can see it.
We've been saying it. Like, you can literally see it in all the players. And he is the epitome of, I'm pissed off, I'm going to hurt someone. Roy Keane's thing made me laugh. Everyone's laying into him. And someone says to Roy Keane's like, he's got to make better decisions, something like that. And someone says to Roy Keane, what like you did, like that. And Roy goes, yeah, okay, in fairness, sometimes as the captain you do have to smash someone to try and lift everyone. He's just been unlucky, he's got red carded.
It's like, yep.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, okay, Roy. I remember watching you play, mate. Less of this, I'm a pacifist now.
He's grown and mellowed a lot, hasn't it? Sometimes you almost think he's forgotten some of the stuff he's done. Him being a Tottenham fan as a kid just sums him up. He's just so angry all the time. Constantly. He mentioned it it was the podcast I did the other day. He mentioned as being a Spurs fan, and I'm like, dude, stop admitting it.
Yeah, no,
just stop admitting it.
It makes sense to me. Like, he's just really angry at the world. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Like, he's lived it. Yeah.
Grew up a Tottenham fan. Yep, it totally makes sense to me. You're the way you are. But yeah, so they do on that particular podcast you're talking about. They do like a Christmas special, and they all wore like vintage football club Christmas jumpers, And because, of course, he's friends with Wright, he's got an Arsenal one on, so Roy Keane wore a Tottenham one. Oh, it wanged him right up. But anyway, so the relegation thing is real. Like, it's funny, like a few weeks ago, we were chatting about it, and I said in our group chat, and I swear all of you are thinking, God, Sam's just being a tart. Like, what's he talking about? And I was like, if you look at it, we're 9 points above them. And in February, I don't see us getting a win. Like, I was just like, I can't find a result there, which means by the end of February, if they win their games, we're in a relegation zone. But, you know, they've obviously got some tough games themselves. But at the end of February, we could be like 3 points above relegation. And then there we are the other week losing whilst they were winning. And it was at the end of the game, we were going to be 3 points above them. Now, luckily, Man United equalised against them, thankfully. So I think it's 5. I think we're 5 points
just to lean into the joke you all make, I was watching that game. What a goal it was! Just throwing it out there. I don't think I've celebrated a United goal that much as when it came up in the bottom corner, the table, and I was like, yes!
Well, I mean, you celebrating Man United scoring's nothing new to anyone here.
But that
Against
goal,
West Ham,
that goal was important.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. But it's insane. Like, I'm looking at it, and it's like I had conversations with fellow Tottenham fans. Like, I got loads of emails and messages on the podcast basically telling me to shut up. It's nothing to worry about. We ain't going down. We got no risk. Now, a few people did message in just like, yeah, I completely get what you're saying about Thomas Frank. I completely get the way you're feeling. I'm looking around wondering why no one else is panicking yet. I feel like we're on the Titanic and that band's playing and everyone's like, oh, it's all right, the band's still playing, nothing to worry about.
Yeah, it's fine, I can still hear music. It's all good.
Yeah, the guy's just, oh, it's been an honour playing with you chaps. Get in a lifeboat. Like, come on. But, like, I don't, like, by the way, those instruments would float as well. Use your brains. But anyway, so I just totally looking at this and I'm like, I am terrified of us being relegated. I cannot think of a worse world than Arsenal basically being on the win the quadruple and us being relegated in the same season.
Added into that the fact that the only team of those bottom three that is likely to get out of relegation to relegate us would be West Ham.
Yeah. I mean, that's painful as well.
Like, that is just like the cloud, like the stars aligning into the worst possible moment to be a Tottenham fan is when West Ham can brag they relegated you and Arsenal have just won more trophies in a season than we have in 20.
Okay, all right, well...
Like, that is like just the worst fucking idea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, crap.
I mean, the one plus side is if we're relegated, we're no longer like rivals with Arsenal anymore. You know, it's Leyton Orient. But
Bring on Charlton at home. Yeah.
My point is like, this is where the relegation thing, and this is the appointment of Igor Tudor, where I am a little bit concerned. So I can see his record and what he does, and I am praying to all of my gods that that's what happens, because relegation is just, I just can't even imagine how terrible this is.
I'm going to start praying to Satan at this point, just anyone.
Yeah. Just to clarify, that was him saying that, not me, because we will get messages. I am of the view on this that there is an element of fear from me that this appointment was a little bit arrogant, and what I mean by that is although we're in a relegation fight, we're also still in the Champions League, and it feels like they've appointed someone who knows Europe, knows football, like knows European football, and they're kind of ignoring the shit we're in a relegation fight, and we cannot do that. Like last season, Ange Postecoglou looked at it and went, we are safe. We are 15, we finished like 16 points, I know we're 17th, but like 16 points clear of them. It was like, we are not in danger, we cannot go down.
Yeah.
Therefore, we're going to put all our eggs into the basket of winning the Europa League. I understand that decision. Others don't, but I do get it. We're in a position now where we cannot prioritise Europe. Like, it is insanity to even think that the club are thinking, well, we're only 4 wins away from like, are you kidding me right now? Like, there is the idea of the financial parachute. Like, it just, my brain's exploding. So that is, with the relegation aspect, that is the one thing that kind of worries me with this, is Igor does not know the Premier League. He's never managed in it before, and he never played in it. He is arriving. I am pleased to see the coaching staffs being ripped up. Like, I'm pleased to see that Thomas Frank's backroom team are being replaced.
Yep.
The set piece coach is staying, by the way. I noticed that. That made me smile.
Who is?
The only guy who's done anything for us.
He was the guy that took over from him at Brentford. The set piece manager as well, wasn't it?
If that keeps happening, I think people need to take the hint. But he's come Igor's coming in, he's bringing some coaches, so there's going to be a fresh feel. That pleases me, but I am that. Do you understand what I mean by that? That it just feels like there's board are still being that little bit arrogant and ignoring the very real relegation fight that could be happening.
Oh, 100%. I mean, as we record this, they would have had 2 days of training so far.
Yeah.
Getting ready for what is arguably one of the biggest games of the season, the North London Derby.
Did you see Igor's first interview?
I've not yet. I know you've sent it to me. I need to watch it. I was at work.
There's one little snippet in it which I liked, which is his first training session. He was like, it was about an hour. Players had been given 5 days off, and it was about introducing ourselves and what we're going to be doing. Like, he was like, tomorrow, gonna kick their ass. It was like, today was a nice hour, everyone smiles, we're all good, hello, nice to meet you. Tomorrow it's about training and we're going to work our asses off. So I enjoyed that. That was good.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I'm one of those people, I'm like, they had 5 days off and then they came in for an hour and they've been paid about 200 grand, the bastards, for that.
Yes. However, there is an element of dedication which clearly none of us had, otherwise we'd be doing it.
No, very true. Hamburger or 3 kilometre run. Yeah.
Ooh, tough decision that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm hoping he's now. I said in the group chat, the one thing that massively wins me over on Tudor's side is those of you who listen to the podcast regularly know I am a massive Football Manager fan, and I play a 5-3-2 formation, and he loves the 5-3-2 formation.
I will say, in his interview, he said, because of the unique circumstances with the players injured, they will need to pick a system to suit the players that are available and then train it. So I don't think he's arriving with this is how I play and everyone's going to fit it. I think he's arriving with, okay, if you're not dead, put your hand up. Brilliant.
Right, we've got 1 centre-back, we've got 3 midfielders, and 4 goalkeepers. Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do think there's an element of, okay, and someone put their hand up and got injured doing it. Brilliant. Cheers.
Yeah. Brandon, I know you haven't played many games for Spurs, but how do you feel like being a right winger? Because we've definitely got a space in the team.
Just stick Brandon Austin up front. I'm amazed Thomas Frank didn't do that. You're tall. Just head the ball. You're fine. I am so glad he's gone. Like, I can't even. Like, I'm nervous because of the relegation thing, but I am so happy that bastard has left my football club.
I will say, as what I said in the group chat, and I said to you before, and I think I said to Ryan as well, the fact that Newcastle have sacked the manager as well. Newcastle, what a load of rubbish. Nottingham Forest have sacked their manager as well, and Dyche has gone. That just gave me a little bit of a like
I don't know.
That helped my anxiety a little bit.
I don't know. I've got no expectation of anything from the Arsenal game.
No,
because they are so far leaps and bounds out of us. Like obviously, there's a hope within me that Igor walks in and is like, let's murder these fuckers, and the team go out there like fucking lunatics and pull off a shock, it would make my life for two reasons. One, we really need the points, and two, we'd be taking them from them.
Yes.
Like you have no idea the boost that would give the entire club. I don't think Igor's under any illusions about how difficult that would be, but that's got to be in his mind as well. Like if we somehow do something, put in a fight, a performance against them, it'll shock them because Arsenal are expecting to roll us over without doubt. And saying, oh, that's something else as well. Have you seen the sheer amount of quotes that have come out from all these journalists who were basically tongue punching Thomas Frank's fart box for months? He gets fired, and suddenly all these journalists are like, oh, well, we do have lots of quotes from managers who basically said they were shocked at how easy Tottenham were to play against.
Oh man, I saw that and I wanted to.
So they hung on to them.
Why is it when he's our manager, everybody is this is an excuse, such a nice guy, excuse here, look at how well he's doing here, look at what he's doing there. The second he leaves, oh yeah, really easy to play against. They had no tactics, no direction. Oh, like,
but those same
fuck was that 3 months ago?
Yeah, those same journalists are still praising him though. Like, oh, he's in such an in-demand manager.
Oh,
like,
fuck me, that
job.
article when that came out. Thomas Frank's stock has not been damaged by his time at Tottenham. Such a likeable manager will be in high demand this summer. And I'm like, by fucking who?
I hope with everything that I have that he gets another job in the Premier League for next season, because that's 6 points for us.
Yeah.
He's fucking awful. Like last season we couldn't buy a win in the league, but we beat Brentford twice.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, right, I'm trying not to lose my shit again. Anyway, yeah, I hate, to go from, I just don't like him very much. I don't know why, but, I hope it works out.
To where we are now.
To the point now, I am at a level where if he stood there and someone's covered him in petrol, and next to him is Sol Campbell, also covered in petrol, I'd actually have to pause to work out which one I'd set afire.
Could you set one on fire and push the other one into them?
Yeah. I mean, I'd kill them both. But I'm just saying that, there would actually be a moment where I'd actually have a decision to make on that.
Yeah.
Just for the avoidance of doubt, because of an email I had recently, I am not in any way insinuating that I want to kill the man or the other one. I'm just saying I wouldn't necessarily call 999. I might sit and watch it burn. Anyway, because I did get an email. Someone was really quite, you shouldn't issue death threats in a podcast. I didn't think I issued a death threat. It was more just kind of, I would not mourn their passing.
Yeah.
I would maybe do a little dance. The Okie Kokie shuffle. Anyway, right, enough of that. So, the last thing I want to talk about then, in amongst all of this, is the kind of what now scenario. So let's make a massive assumption. It is a massive assumption, and that is that Igor manages to stabilise things and pick up enough points that we stay in the Premier League, right?
Yep.
He perhaps picks up a win in the Champions League, but then bows out of that competition, because let's face it, we ain't winning that. So everyone with the jokes needs to calm down.
I do love that, the comparisons from this season to last season, and fucking hell, lads, we're gonna win the Champions League.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, and don't get me wrong. Of course, there's part of me at the back of my brain just thinks that's the funniest scenario in the history of football.
Tottenham avoid relegation by 1 point, and they'll be playing in the Super Cup final next season.
Yeah, again, because they've done this, just like FC Porto did it back to back. But look, forgetting that and parking all of that, that means we're going into the summer with a squad that is decimated, angry, disillusioned, completely lost. A fan base that is disillusioned, lost, completely pissed off. there are now very, very comprehensive articles from very good journalists pointing out the sheer weight of corporate deals and sponsorships that are like being pulled because people don't want to be associated with a losing brand, which the club now is. Shirt sponsorships up soon. AIA deal that Daniel Levy did, of course, expires next season, which means we need a front of shirt sponsor, which is happening 1 year after the government ban on betting people. So there is a real issue around, I think something like 9 football clubs in the Premier League will be looking for a shirt sponsor. Anyone will have noticed that Chelsea are still struggling to find one.
Yeah.
The financial impact is about to grip this football club like you wouldn't believe, because all of these brands, all of these sponsorship deals, there's a strong rumor about the NFL not like currently very unhappy about the partnership. Stadium's great and everything, but why do you want to be associated with a brand this toxic? You don't.
No.
Like the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium should have been sold the rights to that ages ago, but Daniel held off, thinking he'd get a better deal with the club in a better position, ironically. And he liked the fact that every concert, every NFL game, every rugby game was announced to the world at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Well, now those brands, like F1 as well, are looking at their contracts because they don't want to be associated with a brand that's this toxic, this unsuccessful, this kind of all over the place. A lot of these deals were done by Daniel on a kind of stability basis. Look, we're stable, we're always up there challenging, we're always doing this. Next season's going to be our year sort of thing. That's the Tottenham motto. Yeah. And now it's shit, and there are real financial implications of that. You're talking tens of millions next season being wiped out by deals being early release clauses because of our poor performance. I think one estimate's like already with deals that are being cancelled is like 20 million lost to the club.
That's not a small amount of money either, is it?
It's not a small amount. Now, you look at the operating budget of a club our size, it may not look massive compared to other figures, but it has an impact. That's 20 million lost. That's a huge impact. So the club has a massive, massive problem. The only corporate deal they've done recently and signed is with a company that's under investigation from the FCA. And a lot of people are criticising us for doing that deal. Because
it's funny that.
Yeah, it's like, this company are potentially fraudsters, but Tottenham are now saying, there are financial bros. Go talk to them. Maybe not. So, like I said, there is real issues everywhere across the club. If Igor can do the job of keeping us up, thank you very much. He'll go down in our alloys of history. Yeah. But I do not think anyone, including him, has a view of that continuing beyond his stint to the summer. That means in the summer, we are going to be looking to recruit a manager to come in and transform the football club.
And I have a feeling there are going to be a lot of clubs this summer, especially at the end of a World Cup when a lot of managers become available. There are going to be a lot of clubs out there looking for new managers.
To me,
there's got to. I don't know. This hurts to say as a Tottenham fan. How attractive an approach of Tottenham going to make at the moment?
So this to me is the thing that is worrying me the most, because I think there's an element of our fan base, and by the way, there's an element of our fan base who think this is a bad idea as well, which blows my mind, is the Pochettino aspect of people think because he loves us, like he loves the club, clearly he does, poor sod, he will take the job if offered. I think if you go back and watch that interview again with him and Jesus on that podcast with Jake Humphrey,
I'm halfway through it. It's actually really good to watch.
He makes it clear he loves English football. He he wants to be managing in the Premier League again. Now,
Yeah.
he talks about his affection for Tottenham constantly, don't get me wrong. But he makes it abundantly clear that it's English football, he wants to be back in England. You've got to remember he still lives in England.
Yeah.
There is an element of, there's been some time where he would be perfect for Manchester United. It's been discussed at length. And I would be shocked if they haven't already sounded him out. I'd be amazed if they hadn't.
Oh, definitely. And
Now,
he would be a fantastic fit for them. The exact reason he'd be a fantastic fit for us.
yeah, he has that ability. Now, if you're looking at Man United, don't get me wrong, Man United ownership and stuff, there's still a lot of question marks there. But if you're looking at Tottenham right now, and you're Daniel Levy, hilariously, even though he sacked him, he remained close with Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
Daniel's now gone. The people who he didn't get on with are also gone. But if, for example, Tottenham are trying to sell themselves to anyone right now, they're going to be saying to Mauricio, like, things will be different. You'll have the backing, you'll have this, you'll have this. He would have in the back of his head, how in the hell, like, is that even true? Because
he's only got to look at this season to go, really?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, the only thing that gets that man to our football club and signing a deal as our manager again is he loves us. Like, that's it. And so if he does return, it's just got to be, like, I'll forgive him for the whole Chelsea dalliance and everything, because I would look at the man of his reputation in the game now and would think we cannot attract any other manager of his level.
No.
Not a chance. Like, I saw someone the other day saying, why are we even talking about Pochettino when Xabi Alonso's available? And I'm like, he's available and he's not looking at us.
No, he has got... that man has a club in mind.
I don't even think it's a club in mind. I think if the Liverpool job became available, this a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
But I think right now, he's sat there going, I'm waiting for an opportunity. Like, so I'll give you a perfect example. Let's say Liverpool finish the season strongly and they back slot to continue forward. And they make it clear, like, we had a lot of injuries. We did a massive change in the squad. We knew it'd be a big transitional season, but we've still, it's not like we're 17th. You know what I mean? It's not like we're really shit. We've just had a transitional season, and we're going to keep working, move forward. All of a sudden, Man United contact him. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you got to remember the PSG manager is going to be available at the end in the summer because he wants to leave PSG.
Yep.
That guy is a sensational manager. And again, look at Man United looking at him, probably thinking, that's a guy of a reputation and stature that would take us on. The thing we've got is we don't have anything right now that's attractive. And like for years we'd have, great stadium, great training ground. It's all there, like everything's there, like all the foundations are there, just needs to be taken forward. Yeah. Well, right now, the foundations are like ripped to fuck. The building site's fallen over. It's like it's the whole club's in chaos. The fan base are like ready to set the place ablaze. So if you're a manager looking at it, you're like, yeah, that's a nightmare. Like that situation's a nightmare to me.
I could go manage there. Why would I want to? Sorry.
Exactly. Like there's so many things that people in the past have been like, yeah, we might not pay this, we might not do the wages, we might not do that, but we're in London and all these things going for us. And I'm like looking at it now and I'm like, guys, you've got to realise that unless this club suddenly starts getting run differently, we're fucked.
Cause we're in London, we've got a nice stadium. It's like, we're not the only club in London to have a stadium.
No, I know, and just it's mind blowing. So, my fear is my hope is we get to the summer still a Premier League club. That is my only goal, my only hope, and I will forever be thankful to Igor Tudor for if he manages to achieve that. My fear is what then happens next. Like, if we're relegated, man, that's a whole other world of pain and terror. But assuming we stay up, what happens then? Like, the disarray in the board, the rudderless, seemingly brainless thinking, like, if they turn around and appoint like someone nonsensical again,
yeah,
like we're just stuck in a pattern. And when I say nonsensical, I don't mean to be critical of someone ahead of time. Like, so I really like the Bournemouth manager. I rate him highly.
Yeah.
I like the way he play. I like the way he plays football and everything like that. I do not think we can recruit him as a manager for Tottenham right now, because I think we're too fucked. And what I mean by that is, like, the fan base is angry. They have fan bases like livid. The squad's all over the place. You need a kind of person who can walk in like a unifying figure, a kind of lightning rod, if you like, that everyone's going to jump on board with. And to me, the only person I can see is Pochettino. Because the vast majority of the fan base would be relieved he's back and be willing to be patient to give him a go, because we've seen what he can do before.
And don't get me wrong, on that, I have seen the people on social media kicking off because, well, he never won us a trophy with the best squad we've ever had. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, I saw one.
I saw one comment. He had the best Tottenham squad we've ever had, and didn't win a trophy. Comment underneath it, yeah, even Ange won us a trophy. And I'm like, why are we now using success as a way to berate ourselves?
the level of stupidity in some of the comments as well, like,
yeah, fucking hell, even Ange can win a trophy. What?
He had the best ever squad, failed to win anything, and that squad was put together by Harry Redknapp, was the comment that I saw.
That was it, well, yeah, it was Harry's squad. I was like, you numpty, come on.
Well, first of all, there were two managers following Harry Redknapp before Pochettino took charge in two and a half seasons, so shut up, you moron. And secondly, that best ever squad, he did that. Like, he put that together. He coached them. He was the one who developed them.
Yeah.
It's like, what planet are you on?
He inherited the best ever squad of Yunus Kabul, Adebayor, Soldado. Yeah, I remember that squad that he inherited.
The squad he inherited was right. Anyway, right. So I am full of concerns for everything, but we are going to get back now into just focusing on games, focusing on trying to get through, and hopefully once safety is confirmed. And please let it be before the last day of the season. I don't think my health could take it. I gotta be honest. So once safety is confirmed, we will then have these conversations again about what next. Because until it's confirmed, it's kind of like pointless. Because if we go down, the best manager we can maybe hope for is bringing back Thomas Frank.
Tim Sherwood said he'd come to a job.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is enough to take me to the top of the skywalk without a safety rope.
Oh, yeah.
We will be back next week where we will be discussing the North London Derby results. Please, 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 oh my gods, just let us have this one. Like, we need some luck. Like, we just need something, please. I know some Tottenham fans must have hurt you at some point, oh lords of football. But please let us have this. We need a day just to enjoy. So until next week, everybody, you all take care.
And come on, you Spurs.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.